Welcome back to Athletic Everyday, day number 175. Got some news for you guys. So, as of today, I am currently jobless. Kind of surprising. It kind of took me by shock actually. I went to work today. Kind of a little bit tired from the week I had in Scotland, but got a decent night's sleep last night. Had a driving lesson and then went into work, and then I had a meeting with my manager like first thing. Went in, spoke to him, and he was like, "I'm sorry, we're gonna have to let you go." And I was just like, I can't help it, but I couldn't help but stop smiling when he was telling me that, because although it is sad to obviously lose a full-time job, which is going to be a full-time income, which is something I'm going to have to be really focusing on and putting my nose to the grindstone over the next few months to try and refacilitate that income through self-employed means. But it is liberating as well. Now I dictate my own schedule. I don't have to wake up super early to go and start an early shift. I don't have to stay up late and lose sleep to try and get a late to finish a late shift. And I no longer have to compromise my sleep or these workouts. I can really focus my time and energy on putting as much value into creating these videos and creating these workouts as well. That being said, I'm also going to have to do a lot of work on creating my own sources of income from using my own mind to create value and to solve problems. But it's exciting because it gives me a lot more opportunities of things I can work on with my time. But yeah, so it's kind of mixed news, and I'm not really sure what to think about it. But it's also exciting as well because it's an opportunity. Every cloud has a silver lining, as they say. That being said, one of the ideas that I had for monetization was to start a Patreon. So I have decided to start Patreon, and the first post I put on Patreon is going to be the vertical jump program that I've been doing over the last 10 weeks. So if you guys want to check that out, then feel free to check the link in the description. I'm not really going to try and plug it excessively. I'll just put a link in every video. But feel free to check that out if you want to. But obviously, no oblige. You're not obliged to do that, and you could probably gather the program from just going back and watching all of my videos over the last 10 or so weeks. So feel free to do that as well. New phase of my life unfolding and lots of opportunities to be going forwards. Anyway, so that's enough about life updates. Getting on to this workout. So this workout I did bounding, and I was planning on doing some sprints. Grass was a little bit wet, but my legs are also feeling kind of fried after yesterday. Doing a leg workout or a lower body workout on not very much sleep is not a good idea if you want to recover from it properly. So I was still feeling a little bit sore after that. So decided to get home, do a little bit of dribbling drills to just to warm up my upper body, warm up my arms, and also to just get a little bit of isometric holding in for my legs in that quarter squat position. It's kind of similar, if you think about it, to horse stance. For those of you that don't know what horse stance is, it's like a super duper wide squat held probably a little bit lower than I am in this dribbling position. But it really helps to build stability and strength in the lower body. But it's kind of like doing that when you do dribbling drills, except you're just moving around a little bit and you get to work on your coordination and your hand-eye coordination with the ball. Also ball handling as well. When you know how to handle the ball in your hand, sounds like a bit of a mouthful there, but if you know how to handle the ball, it enables you to have better control over it when you're going up for a dunk, for instance. So it does help, for instance, to be able to do more advanced dunks. Doing a windmill is not actually... Obviously, being able to jump high enough to do a windmill is one thing, but actually being able to control the ball in the air with your arms and swing it around does also take a bit of effort as well, and it takes some practice. And I think ball handling is definitely one of those ways to do that. Moving into the actual jumping and the dunks, wasn't feeling like I was jumping my highest. I actually tried some two-handers, but they were not going down whatsoever. I just was not jumping my highest. But I was able to get quite a few off the dribble one-handers, off of every plant and every combination of, off of every plant with both hands. So that was good. And then I decided to add in some hip hinging work. I haven't done Zercher RDLs in a long, long time. I guess you could call them Zercher good mornings as well, I'm not sure, or just Zercher hinges. But figured it just add a little bit of variety to the way I would do my hinging movement pattern, as opposed to always sticking to, RDLs, good mornings, single leg RDLs and all that. They really fucking hurt your elbows. The pits of your elbows, or like the crook of your elbow, really starts to hurt if you do Zerchers with enough weight. But workaround for that problem is just to do them more frequently and kind of just build up some tolerance to that pain of having the bar in the crook of your elbow. It's just like when you start squatting, some people will experience problems with resting the bar on their upper traps, but the more and more they get used to it, and the more they squat, the more and more they'll get used to the feeling of that bar in that position. Also, you can get wraps for your elbows. You can also get some padding to put underneath your elbows if it's really intolerable. But yeah, it's definitely, I don't want to be the guy that avoids Zerchers just because you can't tolerate the pain in your elbow. There's a lot more benefits to this exercise because you're changing the position of the bar in relation to your center of mass. It's a lot closer to your center of mass. You have better leverage over the weight, and I feel like it's a lot easier to target the upper portion of the hamstrings. That's just anecdotal. I don't know if there's any actual scientific study that's looked into how Zercher deadlifts or Zercher RDLs target different portions of the leg. But I definitely felt it a lot more in the upper portion of my hamstring when I did these, as opposed to when I do RDLs. But that could just be me. So yeah, and then I decided to superset these with some tibialis raises. This is 15 kilos, and the weight on the Zercher is just 80. Probably could have gone heavier, but again, my elbows would have been the limiting factor here. But yeah, you can look to see me starting to incorporate some more Zercher work, because these are really fun. I really enjoy doing Zercher RDLs or Zercher work. Anything with the bars in the crook of your elbow, it just completely changes the exercise, makes it more interesting, and just more fun to do. And it's adding a wider base to your movement literacy. If you've got greater movement literacy, then that means that you have greater experience and you have a greater ability to be able to produce force in more novel and new ways. And the last thing I decided to do was to finish off with some single-legged or some single-footed tibialis raises, mainly just to work on the stability of the ankle. What you'll notice here is that you can see how my ankle is wobbling as I try and do that raise. It's because the bar is quite wide, but I think this is actually quite good because it forces your ankle to be stable when you're trying to do that dorsiflexion, which means you're going to be utilizing you're trying to stabilize in that frontal plane as well. So you're moving the tibialis bar in the sagittal plane, like up and down, forward and backwards. But because there's that instability at the side, you are using a little bit of the muscles that will evert and invert the ankle. To an extent, again, you're not like massively overloading them, but it does offer some stability in that plane when you're removing the stability from having the other foot there. All right, guys, that is pretty much it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate the support and the views. If you want to continue to support the channel, then feel free to check out Patreon. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.